All right, so so let's talk about what's going to be on tomorrow's test. Lemon test. Other BC kids, can you quiet a little bit? So just whisper. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about what is on the test. What can I see? Can somebody turn on the projector? Is turn on or no? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what's on tomorrow's test? Everything's on board. I just rewrite everything's kind of organize everything for you. So you're gonna have a. Let's do purple. You're gonna have limits. The first thing about limits is understand how to do graphically. How do I do graphically? What I mean is I probably give you something like this. Right? I'll probably give you something like this, and like this, and like this, right? And I can say, well, limit x approach to 1 from the left, limit x approach to 1 from the right. What is f of a 1? Right? Something like this, just understand graphically. Those are easy points. Hopefully you don't miss any. Yes?
So on the homework, I was a little confused. You said if it's approaching from the left for that one, it would be, I don't know, like 1, I guess, because it's the most immediate value. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And-
on the right, it'd be like that negative.
-3.
Okay.
And the f of a 1 is going to be -1. So graphically, basically, it's a lot of those. You have to go read what is approaching from the left or right. And if you limit x approach to 1, it's going to be does not exist because they reach different value. So graphically. Now, algebraically, there are. Is that extra C there? Oh, well. Okay. Algebraically, you just always plug in the number. Right? And if you got a number, you are done. And the number could be like 0 over a number. That's also 0. Okay? A lot of people say 0 over a number is infinity. It's not. So if you got a number, you're pretty much done. There's not much math. And some of the trick question I have done in the past was like this. Was limit x approach to, I say, pi over 3 of sine of x over x. And people are just going to put down 1. And the answer will be wrong if you put down 1. Why? You're supposed to plug in first. Does that make sense? Then you want to get square root 3 over 2 over pi over 3. And you can simplify that. But that's where I can trick you. And you don't want me to trick you. This is the best way to think about it. Plug in the value first. Because I can fool you like this, and it's going to be easy money for me.
3 root 3 over 2 pi.
Whatever it is, yeah.
You can't simplify that any further.
Yep. But majority of tests is going to be right this part, which is 0 over 0. Now, you have to know how to factor factoring and canceling. So factor including what? Trinomial, including your leading coefficients greater than 1. So you had to learn how to use a box method to factor, or whatever method to factor that works. Could be SOAP. Could be factor by grouping. Could be a lot of different choices I can give it to you. I do not know which one is it, but I can give you all kind of choices. B, if I see a radical, I can give you conjugate. You know how to deal with a conjugate, hopefully by now. The idea is to cancel out a denominator when you're doing conjugate. Sometimes you might have to rationalize the denominator, which is that happens too.
The Queen of England just died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
All right, shh. Combined fraction. We've done a couple of those questions before, also on the test. And D is absolute value. The absolute value is a weird one. Usually, like sometimes, like I can ask you something like limit x approach to 2 from the left of x minus 2 over x minus 2, something like that. Then you have to say, okay, from the left, I'm going to use the negative side. So limit x approach 2 from the left, it's going to be negative x minus 2 over x minus 2. And that cancels out as equal to negative 1. And those are the things that you got to be able to adjust when there's absolute value. But it really depends on if I reach on the positive side or on the left side. E. Now, E is not there before, but it just added on today with the trig limits. If you realize trig limit has what? Sine x over x is 0 over 0, right? Limit x approach 0 of sine of x over x. Why? Because 0 over 0, in this case, is actually equal to 1. And limit x approach 0 of 1 minus cosine of x over x, that's equal to 0. So that becomes one of the things under 0 over 0. Last one, you might get a number over 0. Number over 0 is closest value, but 0.1 away. But if I reach one value, you have to test for both sides. So for example, if I have limit x approach to 2, 1 over x minus 2, you had to do two separate sides. Limit x approach 2 from the left of 1 over x minus 2, and limit x approach to 2 from the positive side over 1 x minus 2. This one's equal to negative infinity. This one's equal to positive infinity. Do you know why? I just plug in that says 1.9 or 2.1. But this one actually equal to does not exist. Now you're going to say, hey, it's Mr. Ye. It always does not exist if I reach one value. Is that true statement? No, why not? What about limit x approach to 2 of negative 1 over x minus 2 squared? What is that equal to? It's not does not exist.
At this time, we do have some weather starting.
Oh, don't mess with me. All right, you guys can go. I'm recording anyway. This one's going to be negative infinity.
Please head quickly to your buses and to your vehicles. Thank you.
Okay, squeeze theorem. Okay, squeeze theorem is going to be the first one. Intermediate value theorem. Removable discontinuity and non-removable discontinuity. You need to know how to do it. You can go. It doesn't matter. Non-removable. You have to understand continuous requirements. If the f of a has to define, this one just memorizing. B is what? Limit x approach to a of f of x
Cannot equal the other one.
must be exist. And C is limit as x approach to a for f of x has to equal to f of a. This one just memorization. I cannot give you away too much. One tricky question I give it to kids is this one. I say, hey, what happened when limit x approach to 2 on pi? What does that equal to? Yes.
Just pi.
It's just pi. Do not put down 2. Yeah, it's a straight line. It's a horizontal line. It's a horizontal line at pi. Pi is going to be y equal to pi. At 2 is always going to be pi. So this is a tricky question. It's easy question people mess up all the time.
Plugging 2 into pi.
You can plug it 2 into pi because it's a pi. It's a function. It's a y equal to pi. It's a horizontal line.
Question.
E is equal to 2.714. You have to know that E value. E is roughly 2.7 and the pi is 3.14. Lastly, how to make function continuous. How to make function continuous. And you want to find A and B value. You're going to have a bonus question. Bonus question's kind of hard. I'm looking forward for you guys to solve the bonus question. The bonus question, you had to think about graphically and algebraically at the same time. So graphically and algebraically at the same time. I'll give you one of the question on squeeze theorem. One question that is going to be a little bit different is 1 over x cosine of x when limit x approach to infinity. This one's equal to question mark. You start here. You say cosine of x because you start with the things you know. That's equal to -1 or 1. And what you're going to do is multiply everything by 1 over x. Why? Because one want to look at like the function on the top. So be -1 over x less than 1 over x cosine of x less than 1 over x. Now, if I x approach infinity, this one is always equal to 0. Now, this part is equal to 0. It's kind of hard to understand. And limit x approach to infinity of 1 over x, that's also equal to 0. Therefore, this is also equal to 0. Because there's two situations. It's always equal to 0.
Why is -1 over x equal to 0?
That's a good question. Limit x approach to the infinity of 1 over x.
Oh, because 1 over x is like the one with the asterisk.
Yep. Well, you think about it. If I plug in a value, if I plug in 10, it's 0.1, right? 100, 0.01. 1,000, 0.001. So the value going towards 0 as we go.
What if it's 1?
Yeah, but we are approaching infinite. So the value here is increasing to infinity. So 1 over infinity is always equal to 0.
1 over infinity is equal to 0. Like 1 over x minus
What?
So why is 1 over x minus
Because you reach both ends. It's going to be like one's going to infinity, one's going to negative. It does. It says left or right.
You ready? Yeah, I'm seeing it for 3 hours. Because the way you debate,
One problem. But you were doing one problem. We were solving problems.